So since the current SOPs largely address harm after crime has occurred, do you think India should consider a take it down act style approach, or one that tackles the root cause by ensuring stronger preventive measures rather than only supporting victims once the damage is done?
I think you've touched on something very key, and which is why I worked on stopncii.org. So to answer your question first, I think both. I think you have to
Mhm.
have, a way for victims to get justice, to be able to get control, when they're in this very traumatic experience. So it is important to have those redressal mechanisms and to have laws in place that clearly declare that this harm is illegal. What is the expectation on platforms when this content is uploaded on their services, but also what other measures that a victim can put into place when they are
Yeah.
in these situations. But I think you've really touched on something which is very key, and something which we heard when I in my previous life when I was working in the tech industry from victims all the time, that tech has evolved, tech has moved on, there are some technologies which are available that can help us even prevent this harm. So why do we need to wait for this content to be shared online before we can try and
Sure.
stop this abuse in its tracks? And that was the genesis of stopncii.org. You can always go to a platform and report it if the content is shared on it, but can we take a step back? Can we help victims, one, prevent this harm before it happens? So in the case of stopncii.org, victims can actually go and share a digital fingerprint or a hash of their photo or video. That photo or video is then shared with participating companies. So when the victim goes to stopncii.org, they don't actually share the photo and the video. So it's very privacy preserving. All they share is
Mhm.
that hash. That hash is then shared with participating platforms. And right now there are over 15, I think they're close to 17 participating platforms that ingest these hashes. And if someone tries to upload content that matches that hash, content teams across these platforms review the content to determine whether it violates their policies or not. And if they find that it violates their policy, they take it down, and they also sometimes take action against the uploading account if they're depending on what their policies are. So what it really tries to do is that I was in a relationship. I had a messy breakup. We had taken intimate images because that moment we were in a trusting place.
Mhm.
We moved on from there. I have broken up with that person. I have those photos and videos. I should be able to stop this abuse in its tracks before that person uploads them somewhere. I should be able to give a signal to companies to say, this content, please don't allow it. It's being shared without my consent. So I think it's critical to move to that prevention, to stop abuse and harm before it happens, and start thinking in that direction. Because once the harm or once the content has been uploaded, it's too late. It's a very messy and a horrible experience for somebody to go through. So if we can stop it, we should.
It paints a very grim picture, to be honest.